Okay, in last class we have discussed impulse invariant method for III design. Today we will discuss another method which is called bilinear transformation method. This method we have to discuss after impulse invariant method, because in impulse invariant method we seen there is a problem of aliasing and we cannot use that kind of transformation system for high pass filters or band stop filters, because in that particular case aliasing will occur at the pass band of the filter. In this particular transformation method we will avoid that particular scenario, and this particular transformation is improvement over the impulse invariance method. Bilinear transformation is based over the trapezoidal rule for integration. Taking the case, let xt is input and yt is output, then we can design an integrator system with xt as an input and yt as an output. Then we can write dyt dt will be equal to xt. Now taking Laplace transform will give as ys equals to xs, then hs can be written as ys over xs equals to 1 by. We can also plot a curve of xt which is continuous in nature and goes like this, and if we sample it by 1 by t, then at x and t the value will be this, and xn minus 1 by t the value will be this, and then we can integrate from x1 minus t to nt to get the value of xt. We have dyt by dt equals to xt. Now if we integrate both sides from n minus 1t to nt will be n minus 1t to nt dyt by dt into dt will be equal to n minus 1 into t to nt xt dt. So we can solve this dyt by dt into dt as ynt minus yn minus 1 t will be equal to integral n minus 1 t to nt xt into dt. Now applying trapezoidal rule in right hand side of the equation, implementation of trapezoidal rule means if t is very small, the integral area can be approximated by the average height of xt between the limits and then multiplying it by the width. That is ynt minus yn minus 1 t equals to t by 2 xnt plus xn minus 1 t, where x and t plus xn minus 1 t by 2 is average height and t is width. So we have applied the trapezoidal rule by the definition and we have obtained this equation. Then we can write the equation as yn minus yn minus 1 equals to t by 2 xn plus xn minus 1. Now taking Z transform will give yz minus z inverse yz equal to t by 2 xz plus z inverse xz. Now taking yz common, yz will be 1 minus z inverse equals to t by 2 1 plus z inverse into xz. Now yz by xz is nothing but equal to hz, which is the transfer function of the digital filter, will be equal to t by 2 1 plus z inverse over 1 minus z inverse. Now we obtained the transfer function of the trapezoidal integral is hz equals to t by 2 1 plus z inverse over 1 minus z inverse. Now in the next step, we know from the transformation cases that analog transfer function should be compatible with digital transfer function, and analog transfer function is hs equals to 1 by s and hz is equal to t by 2 1 plus z inverse over 1 minus z inverse. Comparing this, we'll get 1 by s will be equal to t by 2 1 plus z inverse over 1 minus Z inverse. Then we can find out S will be equal to 2 by T 1 minus Z inverse over 1 plus Z inverse. And we can further solve it for S will be equal to 2 by T Z minus 1 over Z plus 1. We can also find out the value of Z will be equal to 1 plus St by 2 over 1 minus St by 2. So we have find out the transformation from S to Z and Z to S. So we are making these equations as A and this equation as B. This transformation is also called linear fractional transformation from equation B, which can be written as Z minus ZST by 2 equals to 1 plus ST by 2. And then we can write T by 2 as Z plus St by 2 minus Z plus 1 equals to 0. Now we can see this equation is linear in each variable, that is Sz, when other variables are fixed. Or we can say this equation is bilinear in S and Z. Now we can find out the transformation of Z in terms of sigma and omega. We know Z is equal to 2 plus St over 2 minus St. Now substituting S is equal to sigma plus j omega will give Z equals to 2 plus sigma t plus j omega t over 2 minus sigma t minus j omega. Now if you find out the magnitude of this Z will be equal to square root 2 plus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square over 2 minus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square. So we have obtained the relationship between Z to sigma and omega. So we will write this equation as C. Now we will have some observations for the different cases of Z with sigma and omega. So the first case is when sigma is less than 0. In that particular case, we can write equation C mod Z as, then mod Z will be under root 2 minus sigma t square plus omega square t square, as sigma is less than 0, and denominator is also modified into 2 plus sigma t square plus omega square t square. One can clearly see denominator is greater than numerator. So mod Z is less than 1. That means it is a stable transformation, as entire left half plane of S domain is mapped inside the unit circle of Z domain. Now entire left half plane of S domain means stability in analog domain. Inside the unit circle means stability in digital domain. After case 1, now we will discuss case 2. In case 2, sigma's value is equal to 0. Then mod Z is equal to square root 2 plus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square over square root 2 minus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square. Now at sigma is equal to 0, this term will be 0 and this term will be 0, leading to mod z is equal to under root 4 plus omega square t square over under root 4 plus omega square t square, which is cancelled out and we'll get mod z equals to 1. Now this mod z equals to 1 is nothing but the unit circle, that is sigma is equal to 0 is the imaginary axis j omega. The imaginary axis j omega from S plane maps on the unit circle on 1-to-1 fashion. Hence there is no aliasing in frequency domain, as we can see, that is mod z is directly equals to 1 for sigma equals to 0. So there is no another condition. So this mapping is 1-on-1 fashion. Now after case 2, we will move toward case 3. Case 3 is when sigma is greater than 0 and we know mod z is equal to under root 2 plus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square over 2 minus sigma t whole square plus omega square t square. We can see denominator is smaller than numerator, leading to mod z greater than 1. That's mean sigma is greater than 0 indicates right hand plane in S plane, and mod z greater than 1 indicates region outside the unit circle. That means entire right hand plane of S plane is mapped outside the unit circle in Z domain, and we can say a system which is unstable in analog domain will remain unstable in digital domain. That's all for this lecture. In next lecture, we'll see the relationship between the frequencies from analog to digital domain in bilinear transformation. Thank you.